me is I kind of keep family at the focus, because I just feel like it's important. Like my mum, she's a stand-up comic, so for me, having that kind of person who's been in the industry as well, it's been invaluable, because she's always said to me, build family alongside the career, because it's all about having balance in your life. And I think whenever my career isn't, doing what it needs to do, one thing I know is consistent is family.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Balancing Acts. In this conversation, I chat with the very funny Travis J. He's a stand-up comedian, actor and radio presenter. He was nominated for the Leicester Mercury Comedian of the Year in 2016 and more recently opened for none other than Dave Chappelle. Travis is soon to take his debut solo show to Edinburgh Fringe Festival, Funny, Petty, Cool.
Perfect.
Hi, this is Steve Whiteley, comedian, actor, filmmaker and writer, all-round ADHD creative. And welcome to my new podcast, Balancing Acts, where I talk to an array of creatives ranging from comedians, actors, directors, all sorts. And we talk about how they find a sense of balance or not between their creative lives and their everyday lives, and how that has an impact on their mental health and beyond. This was a fantastic conversation. I really like Travis. He's one of those deep thinkers. He's been around, he's been in the game for a while, and he's forged his own path. And we talk about this idea of having tough skin, because there is so much rejection in this entertainment industry, and how you have to shift your mindset, because otherwise you can be permanently down. So we talk about that. We talk about the challenges Travis faced being a single dad at the age of 23, and then how that affected his comedy. We talk about the comedy writing processes and what methods Travis uses. There's loads and loads of takeaways from this conversation. So I always like to say, how can this relate to you if you're listening? I mean, one, it's just an interesting conversation. Travis is a thoughtful and intelligent guy, and I think you're going to like what he has to say. This is one for all the creatives hustling, trying to figure your shit out. And believe me, we're all in this game and we understand the highs and the lows. And this conversation is evidence of that, and kind of the work you need to do on yourself in order to progress from an emotional, mental and creative standpoint. I quite like that. I like the way that I phrase that. So without further ado, over to Travis J. Last time we saw each other was...
I think it was the audition.
Was that audition, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which you got.
Yeah, I did, yeah. Yeah, that was...
How was that?
That was cool, man. That was a decent job. That commercial. The way they did the set, I felt like they had a pretty decent budget for it as well.
Yeah.
Like they had this mad ship, which was like a whole half a ship, which was built in this... It was just huge. It was massive.
Was it in a studio?
Yeah. Some. I think they used it to shoot like a James Bond movie one time.
Okay.
So it's quite a decent space, but like the place was massive, and they had this ship, and it was just rocking on this. Like I was just like, fucking hell! For a commercial, you lot went in, man.
That's the thing about doing commercials, is that they've got the budget.
Yeah.
So one, you get paid really well.
Yeah.
And then two, like, the locations can sometimes be sick, and also the kit is ridiculous as well.
Do you ever notice how bad the food almost always is on set for like any commercial job?
You think so?
Dude,
it depends what it is, I guess.
They get like catering services and...
Yeah, they get catering. You don't like it?
Always garbage. Well, this one particularly was garbage.
What is the worst is if you do a commercial and you can see that it's big budget, and they brought in Tesco sandwich.
Yeah.
And you're like, really?
Or you get like a shoddy, it's not even EasyJet, it's like some unknown airline. Like we flew on this random airline I've never heard of before, I can't remember it. But the seat space, like I'm quite tall. I'm not like abnormally tall, but like the foot space, oh my days. I had so much pain in my hips, my knees, it was awful, man.
You know what I started doing recently? Go onto the flight and say, have you got any emergency seats available? And he said, yeah, obviously you're going to have to upgrade. I said, yeah, no problem. What's the seat number? They tell me the seat number. I said, all right, cool, we'll come over. Go over there. People forget to come over, and then you've got the upgrade. Because don't you think it's ridiculous now that you have to pay for an emergency seat? Everything is ridiculous. Like, everything is about upgrading, isn't it? The tiniest of things.
Everybody's taking the was it Ryanair? is it a Rhino the one that's like famous for like charging you for every
Charge you
single
for your
thing?
luggage.
Everyone's following that business model now.
Yeah.
It's taking a piss, bruv.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, obviously they're fleecing you for as much money as possible, but it's also like they're trying to you're trying to differentiate people. Yeah, well, if you get this, then you're extra special.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like skipping the queues at EasyJet.
Playing to the egos.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I've got a friend. Never forget this. My friend, he loves every time we go. You know, we go on a stag do or something like that. He'll always like skip the queue, pay to skip the queue. And we were coming back from Berlin, a stag do, and we're all absolutely hanging. And we're all queuing, and then we'll just watch him on the right hand side, just swagging down, sort of like looking at us like he is like the bee's knees. It's like, mate, it's just EasyJet
For 6 minutes of convenience.
yeah.
Like,
And he just sat there like sitting on the chair with his arms crossed, like looking at us like really smugly.
Yeah. It's like,
You know?
I ain't got to do all that.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen each other since, but then we did that Kanye raising money for Kanye West.
Oh, man,
You remember
yeah.
that was like, how long ago was that? 5 years ago.
Yeah, man.
With the guys at Jump Off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That did really well online.
Did well. Whenever
Yeah.
it was like the Daily
numbers.
Mail,
Yeah.
It's the Sun. But those guys are great at that, at getting stuff out.
You know what made me laugh is how they really marketed us as like real serious Kanye West fans.
Yeah.
I was just like, we were like Kanye West fans fundraise for Kanye. I was like, you are freaking serious.
Yeah.
But no, that
But it did really well.
That was fun.
Most successful viral piece of content today.
Yeah, for saying. Oh my days.
So at the moment, from what I can tell, you're doing stand-up, you're doing acting, radio presenting, and still a bit of poetry as well.
Radio presenting no more.
You're not doing radio presenting,
Yeah,
so how
left
come you
that
knocked that on the head? Because
So-
we talked about this before,
Yeah.
but I presented on Bang.
Yeah.
Is it- no, not Bang, Beat Now, isn't it?
Beat Now.
That's
Beat
how
London.
long ago I was
Beat
doing
London.
it.
Yeah.
With AJ.
Yeah, so I think they're kind of structuring their business. They're trying to make a big launch. Like they're now on DAB, so it's not just internet anymore.
Okay.
So we had a kind of conversation about our agreement, our contract agreement, and it was going in the other direction.
Right.
So I was like, well, I understand the station's making a big move forward, and I respect that, but nah, I would have to go
Not for you.
at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
But like, it's pure love, man. I got love for everybody that's there, but I had to walk away from that now, focus a bit more on what I'm serious about, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, we were talking just before we started about how just trying to be disciplined with your time is
is
so difficult.
This is it.
When
This
you're
is
a
it.
creative person and you've got lots of different endeavors and your brain is constantly jumping around,
Yeah.
I think that one of the hardest things is focusing, but also not just focusing, prioritizing what to focus on.
That's it. Because you can get caught up in a fleeting idea, which is like a side mission. Like, for example, a radio show. Like, that was never in my plans to do
Really?
a radio
Was
show.
it not?
No, but
Okay.
it was one of the ones where, like, the station manager, Ivor Etienne, saw me perform, and he was like, I like the way you think. Like, you do a radio show. And now I'm in Saturday morning, and, radio sounds kind of like straightforward, but it takes a lot of planning just for that bit of content.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Because you producing the show as
that's
well.
it. That's it.
That's
So
a
it's
lot
like,
of time.
yeah, man, and my co-host as well. We put a lot of time into that show,
Yeah.
and it's just like after a while, you start thinking, all right, I'm a stand-up comic, and I act. These two are first,
Yeah.
And you know what I mean. After a while, it's like, yo, let's refine. So for the minute that they started talking about, maybe paying me less, that's when I was like, you know what, maybe this is the sign I need to refine my efforts.
Yeah. But I think that's good because another thing that's so difficult is saying no to things.
Yeah.
Because you always like think, who knows where that
Just
can
in
lead
case,
to,
yeah.
like, just in case, you just never know.
Yeah.
But I think it's a sign of confidence, and of course a sign of maybe like maturity as well when you
Yeah.
get to a point and then you're like, no. I've really been enjoying it recently, saying no to things.
Do you know what? It's like once you you say no because you're confident, and I think, like you say, it's like when you know there's you're on a path to a specific place in,
Yeah.
with your career, saying no becomes quite easy
Yeah.
because anything that doesn't allude to that path, it's like, hey, this is a waste of my time.
Yeah.
Money doesn't make the difference now. Do you know what I mean?
And that's a big thing. That's a big hurdle to get over, isn't it?
Massive hurdle.
Because it's a huge driver.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people find themselves in like 9 to 5s and struggle to do the creative stuff on the side.
Yeah.
And bruv, that's the hardest set of balls to juggle. Like, that's tough. Like, I've been working like a 9 to 5 for like last, 12 years or whatever. And last August, I managed to leave my 9 to 5. and just focus.
Congratulations.
Bro, that felt like the
What a
milestone
dream, right?
I've always wanted. Yeah, man. That was a win, but it was also like, it's one of those wins you can't celebrate too long. Because it's
Yeah,
like,
you gotta keep moving.
that's it. Now it's time you got to move more than ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that's been tough, but it's been eventful.
So have you always been someone that's very goal driven? Have you given yourself career goals? So that this, and if so, how have you done that? Do you have like weekly goals? Do you have like monthly goals, yearly goals? Some people have that, you know, the 5-year plans. I sat down with this promoter who came to an Edinburgh show a couple of years ago. She took me out and she's like, have you got your 5-year plan? I said, what? She goes, your 5-year plan. Jack Whiteley had a 5-year plan. Have you got a 5-year plan? And it's just literally, I was like, jeez. What? No, she's freaking me out.
Yeah.
But you know, some people are very goal driven, and I guess, you know, whatever works for you.
Yeah. No, do you know what? I'm not really like, I don't really put too much pressure on myself for like timelines and goals in that way.
Okay.
Because I just feel like that just sets you up for unnecessary pressure. Like for me, whenever it happens is the right time.
Yeah.
So like whenever I don't get something at the right time, I just know that this is an experience that's going to cater towards that big moment. Do you know what I mean? Like I've been going just under 10 years now. There's been many times in that time where I felt like, all right, now this is the moment.
This is it.
And then the next time comes, it's like, all right, now this is the one.
Yeah, right?
So now I'm kind of like, I'm numb to that emotion, that excitement.
Yeah.
But I'm very silently confident that it's going to happen.
That's a good place to
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
Because when you're not affected by the highs, but then also not affected by the lows.
That's it.
That's when you're in a good place.
Yeah.
I had a similar thing where like it was 2 years ago or so, and you know, I had a few sort of close wins, and they sort of didn't happen for whatever reason consecutively. You know,
Yeah.
3 things, 4 things, and I was like really down about it. And then I just made a decision for myself, like I can carry on like this, and which means this career is constantly going to be up and down, which means every time you're on a downer, that's going to affect your personal happiness.
Yep.
Or I can just sort of dust myself off, get on with it, and not let it affect me. And making that decision was a big like game changer.
That's growth.
Yeah.
That's that creative growth, because we got to protect our mental health in this game, because the amount of rejection that we deal with on a normal basis.
It's not normal, is it, man?
The amount of auditions that we've gone up for and it's been a no.
Yeah.
But then what happens is the one yes in some way makes up for that.
Yeah.
But it's like 1 out of 38.
But you know what I say to people when I like, if I've got auditions, let's say commercial stuff, particularly if I've got commercials in the past, and I speak to friends of mine who aren't necessarily in the industry, and I'm like, yeah, you got this commercial, and they're like, yeah, what's the money, bro?
Yeah.
And I tell them, and I go, that is sick.
Yeah.
But then what I say to them is like, yeah, but for me, that money that basically covers all those auditions that I went for over the last year.
Thank you.
All the travel expenditure. And all the mental health.
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
Constantly hearing no. Oh my days. That takes a good while to get used to.
Really does.
Yeah, because it's like, it's just, you went up for it, you believed in it, everybody in the room smiled, they said, hey, good job.
Yeah.
You walked out with that little kind of like, yeah, I got this. And then you just, nah, we're going in a different direction. It's like, freaking hell.
Those are the worst. Like, I can deal with it when I know, like, I haven't done well. If I've done if I've put in a shit performance, fair play.
Yeah.
But when you come out of it buzzing, you're like, I've smashed that. I've got this. And then you don't hear anything.
Oh, bruv. Like
I came out one 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was like a short film for a borough or something. And it was actually like a serious thing, but playing like this, you know, have you heard about these handymen? They go like dressed up as handyman, or sort of, they basically approach old people and they say, look, I can see that, you know, your fence needs fixing, etc. If you don't get that sorted, there's going to be issues. And they basically convince them to do the work, and then they start blackmailing them for money, etc. Right. So it was for that.
Yeah.
I did it, and I just went in on it. And afterwards, the director, you know, the casting director's like, that was really great. So these are the dates. You're definitely, you're definitely feeding it that. And I was like, yeah. And then you come out so confident, call my agent. I was like, listen, absolutely smashed it up. Keep my diary free.
Yep.
Didn't hear a word. Nothing.
Oh man, like I had this audition for some US series, and I killed that audition. Like I did it, and it was one of the ones where she looked at me, she was just like, yeah, I mean, I don't even know if we need to do it again. Like, it was, do you know what I mean? Like, I had that, so I'm in there feeling amazing. And she goes, just for the sake of variation, I guess maybe do it like this. So now I'm just like, oh my days, like, I've nailed it. I leave, literally didn't heard from her again. But she left saying, it's going to take a while because the production's, it's running for later this year, but you're definitely going to hear back. I was like, wow, to now be ignored. It's crazy.
It's killer. I don't know if there's, I'm sure there is. I don't know if there's other industries that have that where you just hear nothing.
It's
like consistent.
Yeah. It's not even a no anymore. It's literally silence.
Yeah, but like you said, you do get used to it.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of getting used to. But then, you hear, I was reading this article the other day about a casting director who has finally cast someone in a film that they'd seen for roles over the previous 10 years, and for whatever reason and they'd never been able to cast them in the role. It hadn't quite happened to them, and they were so happy that after 10 years they finally got them to cast. They got them cast in this thing. Like, sorry. Like you can smash an audition, and then you might not get it, but that casting director hopefully is going to know you, right?
That's right. I mean, that's the silver lining in it all, because casting directors, they're in the loop for shows, so they could essentially change your life. But it's like in the moment, you think, I wanted that one. Do you know what I mean? But it's having that long-term foresight, which is always beneficial.
Yeah. Do you do anything specifically to work on your mind? Are you into meditation, or what's your thing? Exercise?
Exercise has always been a part of my life.
Yeah.
Like I used to, before I got into stand-up, I wanted to play basketball professionally. Okay. That was my dream. And so I've, from about 14 to like 22, regimented, like I was really into basketball. I got to like 22 and I realized, hey, if this was going to happen, it would have happened by now. Yeah. I didn't want to be that dude, 27, still trying to find a team,
Yeah.
So I just started exploring, going out a bit more. So having a social life, because I was really serious about basketball. And that's when I found stand-up. So like for me, just kind of, I have a really laid back view on things anyway. I stay physical, I train, I box now. And that's just
Where'd you box?
I don't really box competitively. I box with my personal trainer at the minute.
Okay.
I've had a couple fights, but that's not really like something it's just more for my fitness.
Yeah.
But like, I think as far as like mental health and like taking care of yourself, for me, it's I kind of keep family at the focus, because I just feel like it's important. Like my mum, she's a stand-up comic, so for me, having that kind of person who's been in the industry as well, it's been invaluable, because she's always said to me, build family alongside the career, because it's all about having balance in your life. And I think whenever my career isn't, doing what it needs to do, one thing I know is consistent is family. So whether it's my family is like my mom and dad, my brother and sisters, or it's like my kids and being my partner, it's like those type of things, they just kind of keep life in perspective, because this is amazing. And if my dreams come true, oh man, it's going to be great. But I still have my family. They're going to love me come hell or high water. So that's really what I think keeps me kind of cool.
That's a healthy approach to take. Sometimes I feel I'm guilty of going to it all in, like it's all consuming sometimes.
Yeah.
And I need to try and figure that out. I was talking to Sarah Callahan the other day. She was just saying, if she's got a friend's birthday, if it's a family's birthday and she's booked a gig, it doesn't matter, that's coming first, she's going to cancel that gig. She's like, the gigs are always going to be around, but time with my friends and family is invaluable.
It's true.
It is so true.
And you don't realize it's like nowadays therapy, a lot of people are promoting the benefits of therapy, and I think it's amazing. I've always been curious, but I've never actually experienced it. But like a lot of time you don't realize your friendship groups, in a way,
I like your
therapy. You don't even really pinpoint those conversations that you have with the guys where you open up and you don't realize you've opened up, but you're just talking about, oh man, this girl I'm seeing, like that's a therapy session.
Do
you know what I mean? And I think we sometimes as creatives, we get so caught up in focusing, and it's like, yo, I don't need distractions, I need to just do this. And it's like sometimes you can take it to an unhealthy place.
It's true. It's because you're not like in a 9 to 5 where you finish your job, that's it, work's done. It's kind of it can be never ending.
You wake up
like, oh, I should be doing this, or I need to be working on this.
You wake up with it. You wake up and you stay up late with it, and it's like, because you don't have that whole, oh, I gotta be up for work, you just work through into the night. And then you wake up early because like, I need to make a start on this and get this done. And you don't realize that you're burning on both ends. But because it's like you don't have a 9 to 5, you don't really keep a track of it.
You don't keep a track of it.
Nah.
That's the thing.
You don't keep a track of it. It's like, yo, I've had 10 hours sleep last 3 days.
Time just drifts, doesn't it? You go down that comedy hole.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you're working on a bit. Like, when you're working on a bit of material and it's like, to you, this feels like it's going to work. You get in front of a stage,
Bomb.
And it's like, even if it doesn't, it's just silence. Like
silence.
Little light chuckle. So then now you're obsessed with this bit and making it work because you believe in it. Oh man, it's a lot.
How's your writing process? How do you go about writing material?
My writing process it's random, man. Like, I could think of something on the way to a gig, and that's now like another 5 minutes. Because you know what I mean? Like, I have this sense now, like within my style, where I'm like, if that makes me laugh the first moment I think about it, that's gonna work.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And that tends to be with the rhythm I work with now. Whereas I used to have a regimented process. I used to sit down and write an allocated time, and then I kind of moved away from that as I got a bit more experienced. I kind of just trust that I'd be able to figure it out, and I've been able to. But like when it comes to like having a big show coming up, like say if I've got a solo or one man show coming up, that's when I tend to write in like a mad outburst. Like I can
Really?
write,
Just comes to you?
Yeah, because like once I decide what the show is about, everything kind of falls into place for me. So
Yeah.
my process kind of I cluster write. So like in one moment, I could write a new 40 minutes, and that 40 minutes will be like added to another bit that I've got already, and that's now the new hour.
Right.
So like I've been able to do that, and then I'll take from that to like another 20, and I can sample from different hours. But I can write so much at one time, but throughout I'm not really like week to week writing material. I've experimented recently with writing on my laptop.
Okay.
Like, 'cause normally everything's in my joke book. I've been writing on my laptop recently, and I've never wanted to just, I feel like it wasn't an organic experience to just type material. But I've been typing these joke ideas, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is really working for me.
Really?
So, yeah, man.
That's what I've always done.
Oh, really?
But I'm now trying to, ironically, to go the opposite way, because I find it's a distraction. If I'm on my laptop, then I'm on the internet.
An email can pop up, and that's
Email
it.
can
You're
pop
off.
up, and it does. Like,
Yeah.
I'm ADHD anyway, so my brain's all over the place.
Yeah.
So all it takes is the slightest notification, and
You're in.
yeah, I'm like a wag. Dogs was like tongue wagging. I'm jumping all over the place. And where do you write? Do you write at home? Do you write out and about?
I write at home. If I'm out and about, I'll make a note in my phone.
Okay.
Like my phone notes.
Do you do voice notes, or do you just write down?
No, I just type it out.
Okay.
Because like I used to write when I first started. I used to write word for word.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Word for word, dot for the pause, and like all that kind of shit.
Yeah, in brackets,
Yeah,
pause.
yeah, exactly. But like now, I'll bullet point loosely where it's going,
Okay.
just so that I can figure it out when I say it, just to give me a bit of freedom. So I think, my phone has just got so many random notes. Jarring thing about the notes is that I go back to it like 10 minutes later and I've forgotten what that was about.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's in the baby's uniform. What the hell is this? But yeah.
Yeah, I've got literally just I do a lot of voice notes because I do sort of musical stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Sometimes I'll just even melodies, and I'll just like sing a little melody, and then I'll come back a couple of days later and I'm like,
What the hell is this? Yeah.
that?
I've got so many random notes that I cannot explain.
Funny, isn't it?
Yeah. I've been laying in my bed 2:00 in the morning and thought of an amazing joke and been like, I'll write this down tomorrow. That's fucking sick.
Gone.
It's gone. And I'm always pissed off by that.
So
Cause it's
annoying,
like,
isn't it?
Yeah.
I had a story that happened to me the other day, and got home and was like, right, I've got to write this down. Didn't write it down. Next day, third day, fourth day. Now, yeah, sketchy as now. I'm not going to be able to remember that story.
The funny's gone.
Yeah, so this thing happened. Yeah. How do you find your inspiration? I guess aside from like everyday life and what's happening to you, do you go out your way to see other performers, or not even just comedy? Do you try and take in a lot of art and culture?
Do you know what? So my perspective has changed in the last year or two. Before, I was very much, I don't really want to watch too many comics.
Okay.
I don't really consume much television. Like, I just want to keep everything authentic. That was my attempt at, well, it was my reasoning for why I believed it would be more authentic. Now, not so much, because I just feel like it's beneficial to be in tune with what is happening.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can...
The zeitgeist.
Yeah, you got to know what the energy is out there, because I think you can get lost in your own world sometimes. A lot of the stand-up that I do is very personal anyway.
Yeah.
So, but like family and these kind of things, like fatherhood is like a theme that's like really strong in my stand-up of recent. Escaping out of that and really paying attention to what's going on out there is so beneficial. Do you know what I mean? You just watching other comics just sometimes as inspiration. I use inspiration very specifically because a lot of comics will watch it and they just steal. They'll just steal.
Yeah.
And that's a real problem with comics. Like people will be they'll see it and be like, oh yeah, cool, and just reword the joke. So I wanted to avoid, my thing was I wanted to avoid it because I didn't want anyone's material to subconsciously get into my head.
Got you.
And it comes out and it's very innocent sometimes, but it's like you catch yourself in a moment like, shit, that's something that's Kevin Hart's style. It's not his joke, but it's like it's
and you
his,
know it.
Yeah,
you know
it's
you're
like
doing it.
that felt Kevin Hart-y, but the joke itself wasn't. And I don't like when that happens. Mm-hmm. But I think now it's like, yo, you see it and it's like you can see other people's style, inspiration, and just to enjoy it sometimes. I think sometimes I got caught up in seeing it as work and a craft as opposed to something that's just enjoyable.
Yeah, I guess that's something else that comes with experience.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it, because I got so caught up in like, no, I need to analyze these guys and be better than these guys and do this and that. But it's like, no, I'm just like, no, this guy's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, there's a guy called Tony Law.
Yeah.
I saw in Leicester. Oh my gosh, first time seeing this dude. Amazing.
Just surreal.
He is an experience.
Yeah.
You just watch it, it's like, bloody hell, I'm glad I'm here tonight.
Yeah.
Like,
Where does that come from?
That's what I mean. Like, everything was just, it just all caught me off guard. That feeling of like, right, I really enjoyed that. No pressure on it. It's just, that was fun. That allows me to then go away and create. As opposed to, okay, so I'll see what he's done. I'll see what he's done here.
Yeah, right.
That
You're
works.
enjoying it.
That's right.
You're enjoying it as if you were an audience member as
That's
opposed to a comedian analysing on the sides.
Yeah. It's always good to remember to just find it fun at the end of the day.
Because that's what we're supposed to be doing it for, right?
That's it, man. That's it.
What's your relationship, I guess, like with comedians in the circuit as a whole? Have you got your own go-to crew? I know you do a podcast with a few others, don't you?
No, so my podcast is with just my friends. Like, they're not comedians.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, they're not comedians. Oh, that's cool.
So I've got 2 podcasts. So the first one, Cool Name for a Podcast, I did it with 2 of my friends and well, they're all my friends, but 2 guys work in PR, and the girl on the podcast, we used to host a radio show together, Candice. And yeah, man, our group chat, like our podcast is our group chat basically. Like,
Okay.
we just, you know what I mean, just back and forth.
Yeah.
I got a boxing podcast with KG. He's a comedian.
Yeah.
And that's like,
He's great.
Yeah. He's
great.
amazing, man. And that's my guy. So, you know what I mean, we bounce off each other as comics. It just works nicely. But I think as far as a crew, go-to friends, yeah, man. Like, so I've, you know, a lot of my experiences on the black circuit. So I'm really tight with guys like Kevin J, Babatunde, Ori Styler. And I mean, there's many more, but like those guys, just off the top of my head, I speak to quite often.
How do you find the black circuit compared to, I guess, if you call it whatever, mainstream circuit?
Yeah. Do you know what? It's like it's underground essentially, because like the stuff that we do on that circuit,
You're tailor-made for that audience, right?
not necessarily, because a lot of the comics who I'm not saying they do the mainstream as well.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And the styles doesn't necessarily change as much, but I think
Okay.
it's just one of the ones where it's like, that's the audience that come out for those shows.
Yeah.
But the venues that we do on a normal bit, they're huge.
Yeah, really.
So do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's weird that it's so big but underground.
Yeah.
Because there'll be an Indigo 2 regularly. Like Hackney Empire regularly. Catford Theatre, like just always packing up these theatres. But you won't open the newspaper and see Time Out, this week's listings. It just won't be there. So like when
I think that will change, because there's obviously like a change going on with, you know, they're casting more of a diverse audiences.
Yeah.
Now, you know, a more diverse cast now in films, TV.
Yeah.
People that finally feel like they're getting the
energy's there.
message.
Yeah.
The energy's there. There's like
Yeah.
momentum there. Do you think that will have a knock-on effect in comedy?
Do you know what? I feel like it's weird because as far as acting and getting on TV and stuff like that, like even Mo, Big Nasty Show, that's doing amazing.
Incredible.
Done one a BAFTA recently. Like, I feel like black stand-up still isn't getting that.
Okay.
That's not seeing the benefits of diversity just yet, because you just like, for example, obviously the mainstream circuit's there, but you also have like the Asian circuit.
Yeah.
You got like BBC Asian comedy nights and stuff like that. You don't have like the black equivalent at the moment. And I think it's a really weird space, because like now that I've focused a lot more of my time on the mainstream circuit, I see that, say, theatre gigs and stuff that come up and stuff like that, they're quite few and far between just for the average comic to have experienced. Whereas like, say for example, on the black circuit, a couple of years ago I performed at the Palladium. That's huge. That's the holy grail on the, do you know what I mean? But like, I can walk into a mainstream club and maybe, you know, still not be known at all. Like, nobody will know who I am. And I'm like, dude, I've played this this place.
Come on.
Yeah. So like, it's such a underground, hidden away, hidden in plain sight type thing.
I did a gig a couple of years ago in Tottenham, and Jeff Schumann was headlining.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he killed. Like,
Bro, yeah.
it was unbelievable. Jeff, I know, because when he was on Bang FM,
Yeah.
he was the one. He really actually helped me out. He sort of like mentoring me, and I'd come on his sidekick on his breakfast show, and then when he left, I got his breakfast show.
Okay.
So I've known him for a while, but I'd never seen him do stand up, and he was headlining the show,
Yeah.
and the laughter was violent.
Yeah.
It was, you know, it was just, and I went away from that gig. It's like, do you know what? This isn't fair because he should be, based on that set, he should be massive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it was just, I mean, he knew his audience.
Yeah.
But I thought it was phenomenal.
I know what you're saying.
Hello, sorry to interrupt in the middle of this insightful conversation, which I'm enjoying, I'm sure, just as much as you are. But I need to give you guys a little reminder. If you like this conversation, this episode, if you like balancing acts in general, then please do subscribe to us, rate and review us, because it makes the world of difference. And the more reviews we get, the more rates we get, the more people can discover the podcast, and we can make it go viral, whatever that means. Okay, back to the chat.
Another guy who's a mate, like Curtis Walker, he was one of the pioneers on the black scene.
Okay.
And he's still doing mainstream clubs up and down. But like, it's one of those things that like hardly anybody wants to go on after Curtis Walker.
Yeah.
Like, it's just one of those things.
Right.
Like, it's not, you know what I mean? It's like, you don't want to be the dude that's listed after him. Do you know what I mean? You hate when he has to double up somewhere else. It's like, you're going on first. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, there's so much talent on the scene, and I just feel like it's not, you don't get those opportunities. Like seeing Motor Comedian and Dane Baptiste on like Live at the Apollo and stuff like that, that's groundbreaking, because like you look at it and think, wow, you guys have made it across there. You know what I mean? That wouldn't have previously been something you could forecast.
Yeah, that's definitely a cultural shift, isn't it? And
big time.
I mean, well, with Mo, I mean, what he's done with social media is just phenomenal. Madness. Social media has been a real springboard, I guess, for bridging that cultural gap.
Yeah, because now it's like, it takes the control out of anybody's decision-making hands.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, this guy's built a following authentically. You can't ignore him.
You can't ignore this now.
That's it. And I think, TV is struggling to compete in this era with stuff like streaming services, Netflix. So now they're forced to be diverse, because Netflix are doing stuff like, they're putting series out with unknown actors. Unknown actors, it's very diverse. There's options for all categories. That's showing TV, you guys have missed a trick. So now TV are reverting and trying to,
they're scrambling around to catch up, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
There's, you see stuff like, was it a couple of years, Roll Safe came out.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Bro, the documentary.
It was amazing.
That's the first time I sat down and watched an hour of content.
Right.
In a row, like just someone's show.
It was amazing.
I couldn't believe it. I was so engaged. I was like, this is fantastic.
The character was incredible. And then obviously went to BBC Three. I didn't think the series was up to par with what he'd done.
It seems like they gave creative control. Or they split creative control, and it just diluted it.
It really did.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's obviously done really well, because now he's got that Enterprise, which I haven't seen yet, but I've heard good things.
Same, exactly the same. I mean, for what I like about what he did is that he was confident in the fact he didn't want to get locked into one character.
Yeah.
Because when you're a viral sensation, it's very easy to just be you're the guy that does this.
Yeah, which is what Michael Dapper seems to be doing as well.
Yeah, with the Big Shaq character.
Yeah,
he's got a bunch of characters, but that one is the one.
It's the one.
Yeah.
But I've also noticed, when he does interviews, he does them as himself. He's obviously trying to make a concerted effort.
Yeah. Like I've seen a few, and it's like you can see that the interviewer wanted Big Shaq.
Yeah.
Like, well, a famous one was when he went on Breakfast Club with Charlemagne and those guys.
I saw that, and Charlemagne was like,
they were
absolute knob to him.
Proper dickhead. Like, I wish I could have spoken to him before that and just been like, yo, you need to go in there swinging, because these guys, they don't have respect for UK talent anyway.
No.
But they don't have respect in general.
No. I thought he handled himself so well.
It was one of those things where you could see they thought Big Shaq was real.
Yeah, and then they were disappointed that it was Michael Dapper coming on as himself.
Yeah. But you live and you learn.
Yeah, when I do stand up, it's in character, and I do character stuff. I've done a bit as myself, and I'm starting to sort of move a little bit more towards that. But yeah, it's always a tricky thing trying not to be a typecast or whatever as just that one thing.
Yeah. So what's the process of character stand-up? Do you choose a bunch of characters and switch it any time that you're booked, or do you get bookings for that character?
You know what? With this character, I started performing it, and it seemed to go down well, so I just stuck with it. And so I've just stayed with this one character for the last 3 years. Sometimes I'll get booked as Steve Whiteley, and I'll still do it.
Okay.
And sometimes it will be Steve Whiteley, aka Wisebound, the name of my character.
Right.
I've had momentum with that, so I've stuck with it. And also, to find an outlet for me as a frustrated garage MC from back in the day, and being able to use that skill set within
Okay.
this character, for me, it's a dream, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy at the moment doing this. And I get to make music for it, but I'm now starting to experiment with a couple of other characters. So, like, for instance, I did this one the other day who was basically passionate about laminating signs. I don't know where that came from. But that's what happened. And and so with that, I'll try and improvise it on stage.
Yeah.
And see what happens with, at like an open mic.
Yeah.
And then maybe try and build a set for that.
That's it.
But I'm pretty lazy about doing new characters. But what I do is for this character, Wisebaum, I create lots of other characters that are all part of his world. So I'll do act outs as those other characters.
I'm with you. That's like something that's ready to go for a sitcom.
Well, I've got this Radio 4 sitcom pilot commission, so that's coming out in August.
Sick.
And then we'll see what happens. But yeah, man, it's been a learning curve doing that. The amount of work that goes into it.
Yeah, for real.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And it's radio money, it's not TV money.
Yeah, that's it. That is it. So, and the thing is, that's funny is that they let you know straight away. It's like, it is BBC, but it's radio, so it's not the same.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure you have got ambitions to create your own sitcom.
Yeah. So I've actually got something kind of in development at the moment.
Incredible.
Yeah, so...
Can you talk about that or not really?
No, not yet. But like...
the raps.
Yeah, so hopefully after... I'm going to Edinburgh this year.
Okay.
And that's like taking a shot up there for the first time.
This is your debut show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Debut hour.
Really excited about that.
Yeah, brilliant. Where's that? What venue?
So that's going to be at Just a Tonic at the
great.
Mash House.
Nice.
So at the Attic.
And what time?
And 2:35.
Okay. Have you been up there?
I've not been.
And you're in for a treat.
I've not been.
It's going to be like a whirlwind. Have you got friends going to be up there as well?
I've got... Do you know what it is? I've not really spoken to too many comics I know are going up.
Okay.
But like I've spoken to comics who have been up there just for advice.
Yeah.
But like it seems like the perspective is changing slightly on the benefits of Edinburgh.
Yeah.
A lot of people are feeling like, it's a waste of time, you can do things online and build things here that way. So there's mixed views. Like I spoke to Darren Harriott and, just thought, what do you think about it?
Yeah.
And he goes, to be honest, man, don't listen to what everybody else is saying. Your experience is going to be your experience. He goes, for me, it changed my life. Like Darren Harriott is everywhere now. He's on TV, he's doing these things.
And that was off the back of his show.
That's it, off the back of his Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who go up to Edinburgh and nothing happens. So it's literally a roll of the dice.
It really is. You know what? Worst case scenario, nothing comes of it. You've got stage. You've had stage time where you've performed for an hour every day for a month. So you're just going to be that much better after. For me, I took my solo show performing this character 2 years in a row. In the second year, I then did a London transfer at the Museum of Comedy, and there was a producer in the audience, and then that's how I got the Radio 4 sitcom pilot. So it was if I hadn't done Edinburgh, I wouldn't have had that.
Yeah.
So for me, I would
the benefits are there.
The benefits are there. I guess partly it's what you make of it. You've got to be savvy as well. I mean, I'm sure you've got big agents, so they're going to be helping out with the marketing and that side of things.
Yeah.
That's going to play a big part as well.
I think it's one of the things that's like, you've been at a comedy club and, the guy's gone on first, he comes off, he's like, they're shit. They're not.
Yeah.
And then you go out and storm it.
And
it's just like, different experience.
Yeah,
the same crowd.
Courses.
Yeah, so I never take other comics' perspective on events, shows, crowds too seriously because I'm like, I'm never going to assume what it's going to be like for you and me is going to be the same.
Do you exchange notes or feedback with other comedians on your material? And do you sort of take on board people's advice in that respect?
I do actually. I'm very open to advice.
Yeah.
I'm very open to advice. Whether I take it on board is another thing, but I'm always really open to it because I'm not a sensitive person.
Yeah.
Like I'm very hardened in the fact that it's like, if someone comes to me, it's like, I didn't enjoy it. My next question is, what didn't you enjoy? I want to elaborate on that. Let's find out. Because I might not change my stuff and just be like, that's just you. Everyone else did. But I have a couple of comics like Kevin J and Babatunde, those guys. They tend to kind of be like, they'll come and support a lot of the stuff anyway. So they're in the room and afterwards they'll come and give feedback and stuff like that. So their feedback kind of means a lot because I know the standard of their comedy. So when I hear it from them, I'm like, okay, I hear exactly what you're saying. Do you know what I mean? And it usually makes sense straight away. Some people give some random advice and you hear it, it's like, okay, well, thanks for coming out. Because there's nothing to take from this.
You need to stand a little bit further back from the mic.
It's like, what? Do you know what I mean? It's like, and it's funny because you open that kind of conversation and you don't realize how much bullshit you just signed up for. It's
so true.
It's like, do you mind if I just chat to you for a minute?
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, cool. This random dude in the crowd, and he's just like, I thought what you did today was mind-blowing. He goes, that stuff about your daughter, I think we can all relate. We've all got kids. I'm like, dude, you made it sound like you were about to really dice up and really add something. I'm like, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate it. Anyway.
Yeah. It's always nice, though, to get those positive comments and feedback, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's all a part of the process, man. It's all a part of the process. I think when I first started out, say a few years in, I was very, very sensitive to people who didn't like my stuff, very sensitive to critique. For me, it was just like, if one person doesn't like it, then how many other people, you know what I mean? It's like, now I'm more of a case of, maybe I'm just not for you.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, there's so many comics, like a lot of time people feel like if someone doesn't like you, you need to switch up and make sure you appeal to everyone. I'm so past that. I do not care. I'm just looking for my tribal fans. And that's it. I'll move with them. If you like me, come out. If you don't, that's cool, man.
And I think that's a healthy attitude to have. The same industry person who will remain nameless, who I met with, said that I needed to stop doing character stuff and just do stand up as myself if I wanted to progress. And I could have taken her advice after that. You know, that was that last Edinburgh I did. And if I had did that, maybe I wouldn't have got that Radio 4 pilot. So
yeah.
You got to choose the advice you're going to take on board carefully and be selective, haven't you?
Big time. And I think we have instincts. There's creative instincts where you hear the advice, you consider it, and your instincts tell you whether or not it's a go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think you should never ignore your creative instincts, because I think once you find yourself in a situation, that's how artists get lost. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
It's like, you know, I've had moments in my career where I've just looked at my footage of me on stage and been like, that's not me, man.
Yeah.
This is not the guy I know. And those moments are where you bring it back. But it's like, now you want to protect it rather than have to keep going back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, you hear it, nah, that doesn't feel right. I'm out. I'm moving on.
Yeah, and that can only come with experience.
Yeah.
You know, I've realised that's on occasion sometimes, you know, I won't listen to my intuition. I have it there, but sometimes I just ignore it. And then that's only going to go down the wrong road.
Yeah. My thing is, I need to be able to comfortably look at the man in the mirror.
Yeah.
That's kind of like my gauge for things I do and things I won't do. Because it's kind of like, above all else, I need to be proud of the work I put out.
Sure.
Because I can't imagine anything worse than being embarrassed by something that you're creating and promoting. That, for me, that's hell. I need to be able to say, I'm doing it my way, man. Do you know what I'm saying? If you like it, come out and support. If not, take care.
Yeah. So, how old were you when you became a dad?
23.
Young dad.
Yeah, man. 23.
So, were you doing stand-up by then?
I was. I started at... When did I start? I started at 21.
You started at 21?
Yeah.
So, how did that... You're grinding away, trying to do your thing.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean.
How did that affect things? Because, I think... I said, I'm so busy at the moment doing this.
Yeah.
You're a dad. Who have I got to look after? I need people looking after me.
Mate, it was a culture shock, man. I mean, it was a car crash from growing up. Because at the time, it's not like I was an immature, 23-year-old, but I was just hand to mouth, being a stand-up comic.
Yeah.
I was at home, didn't really have rent issues. So I was like, I'm kind of just floating through and doing this thing. I'm just vibing.
Yeah.
And then it's like, wow, you're going to be a dad. Oh, man, all these erratic decisions were made in a row. Like, I was working in, like, some office, just temping. And I was like, right, I need a real job. So I signed up to this sales job.
Yeah.
Worst thing I could have ever done in my life. I signed up for this company called, was it NRI? Some random advertising sales company.
Okay.
I walk in there and these guys are like wearing fancy suits and he's like, if this is the type of life that you want, James over there, he was absolutely smashing it, he's got a Lamborghini now, and that could be you, that usual bullshit, man.
Yeah. And
I lapped it up, man. That's like, I went back to my temp job and I was just looking at these guys wearing regular clothes. I was like, I want a better life. I quit this job, started this sales job, and it's the worst thing ever, man. Like, I went from being able to sit at my desk, have a coffee at 10 o'clock and just enjoy my day, to standing up all day on the phones. Their thing was, if you sit down, your energy's lacking on the call.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
need enthusiasm.
Got to ask open-ended questions.
Oh my days. He's like, you're really veering off the script. And the guy, I'll never forget, he said to me, he goes, you're a stand-up comic, right? And that's what I like. That's why I hired you, right? He goes, you got to see the script, like one of your jokes. He goes, obviously you're going to tell the same joke more than once, but the enthusiasm's got to be there. I was livid, bro. I was like, I don't like your script.
Oh, shit.
Bro, that was hell. And I've probably lasted about 3 months in that job. That's literally the only job I've ever quit without having another job.
Right.
And you can imagine how much I hate it because I had a child on the way.
Yeah.
And I quit it because I was like, I feel like a crap person now. And like, that didn't go down well with my daughter's mum.
I can imagine.
But I was like, you know, I got to do this because you know when you're at your threshold.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, you get to that place, that dark place, and you're not looking forward to getting up in the morning. Then
That's
you know
it.
something needs to change.
That's it. And the worst thing is, like, because up until that point, I'd never struggled getting jobs. I took it for granted. I was like, once I get the interview, I've got it.
Yeah.
So that point from there was 4 months of unemployment.
Right.
Oh my gosh, bro. 4 months of unemployment. That felt like the longest 4 months of my life because now I'm doing gigs and I'm early on, so I don't really have much material to be.
Yeah.
But I'm chasing these gigs now just for money.
Okay.
And I'm desperate. I'm on stage and it's just not coming together because my intentions are not because I want
Not
the material
right.
to
They're not
work.
authentic.
Yeah. So I'm forcing everything and I hit a wall. And I remember this one gig, I had this heckler and he said something. Like I was in this middle of this long story joke which was not working. But it's like, you know, you've got past that point. It's like, well, I'm here now. I got to see this to the end.
Plow it through.
So this dude says, he heckles something, and I reacted so badly. I just went, who said that? And I looked at the crowd like, but it was really confrontational. This guy at the back, I feel like it was him, but he melted like into his seat, kind of like faded away. And I was just like, you know what? Forget this, man.
You walked off.
What's going on? Boom. Dropped the mic. And I went off. I left. I went up to the promoter and he grudgingly paid me what we agreed.
He paid you as well?
Yeah, he paid me. And I walked out and I saw a couple of tweets from some people saying, you know what, if you're not going to do it properly, don't do it at all.
Yeah.
And I just ignored all the tweets and I was like, you know what, I need to take a break from stand-up because I want a kamikaze right now. And that was a real low point
How
in
long
my
did you
life.
take a break for?
I took a break for like maybe about 5 months.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was like, I didn't feel funny anymore.
Yeah.
Life wasn't funny.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm broke. I got a child on the way. This is hell.
This is perfect material.
Oh, bro, it was tough. So then I got a job in a call center and like a bit more regular money's coming in. I'm kind of getting myself back to where I was. And then I'm going for a metro. I read the metro every single day. So I was gathering so much material.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I was gathering so much material from the newspaper.
Yeah.
Which I was just harvesting material in this time off. But then I saw an article for like white collar boxing.
Yeah.
And like something said to me like, yo, if you can have a boxing match and win, dude, you can do anything. So now it was like, okay, boxing. If I win this fight, I'm going back into my career and I'm never turning back. So that was like a mad crossroad for me. And like sign up for boxing and the exercise. That's when I started to see the benefit of exercise and like clearing my mind. Because now I'm exercising, I'm back into stand-up.
Yeah.
I'm preparing for a fight whilst my stand-up is back in. I'm enjoying it again. And that's when I started to see the link between exercise and you're clearing your mind and seeing the benefits of that. Had the fight, won the fight.
Boom.
Mentally, I'm like, yo, I can
Rock
do
it.
anything, bro. So, yeah, man.
I did the same thing. I did a white collar fight and
Sick.
I fought in Bethnal Green, York Hall.
Yeah.
Which was just
how'd it
phenomenal.
go?
You know what? It was charity, so they didn't announce a winner, but I won.
Oh, yeah. No.
I definitely won.
I know it was.
But yeah, it was sick. And then I've trained doing boxing and Thai boxing on and off over the years. I'm going to start. I found this really great MMA gym around the corner I want to get back into.
Sick.
I don't know about you. I just find at the moment we were talking before about going vegan.
Yeah.
And the downside to it at the moment for me is that I guess I haven't spent enough time working out the nutritional side of things and what I need to replace in my diet. So I'm losing muscle, and I'm getting called skinny. And I don't appreciate it from my friends and
Losing
family.
the
It's
gains.
like, what's going on with you right now? Is everything okay? Just trying to save the planet, mate.
Yeah.
But yeah, and just trying to try to pack on some muscle. So I've been doing weights again. I used to do weights years ago, but I don't know about you, but like weights, man, it's just so boring. It's so repetitive.
Yeah, I can never maintain it.
No.
I can go for a couple of months straight. Like I train with my personal trainer, and the training is so varied now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's a circuit, it's some weights, it's boxing, it's mixed. Everything's all mixed up, and I like that. That's how I can stay in it, but I can't just lift weights.
No.
It's boring, man. And also, I see the benefit in cardio fitness now. Cardio fitness is what we need as people.
100%.
Big muscles doesn't make you healthy at all.
No.
With the cardio, that's more chance of making you healthy.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I just want to be medium sized, look good in a suit, because you get too big. It's just like you just look like a security guard.
Yeah.
Not interested in that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. So going back to you're saying about becoming a young dad, how has that like shaped you in terms of? Well, actually, firstly, like how do you balance being a dad with being a comedian and doing everything that you're doing? Because we've already discussed how all-consuming it is.
Yeah.
How do you find that balance?
I think my kids keep me sane, man.
Really? How old are your kids now?
So 8 and 10 months.
Wow. Okay.
So little
Amazing.
dude, you know what I mean? It's just, and it's such a different experience of fatherhood both times, because me and her mum split up.
Okay.
Different situation now with my son.
Yeah.
With him all the time, every day. Like this is my little dude. You know what I mean? I wake up, he wakes up whatever time we wake, and it's just such a different experience in comparison. Do you know what I mean? And I'm really thankful that I've got to do it this way properly this time around.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like I think time management is something that is an ongoing fight for me, because I'm working all the time, like social media and all these different things. Like it's all work at the end of the day, and I have a hard time differentiating between work and leisure.
Yeah.
Because work is fun.
Sure.
So now it's like, am I playing or is this beneficial? So then when it comes to like being a dad in the midst of all this, I don't really struggle with necessarily being a dad and putting the dad hat on.
Okay.
I quite enjoy that ongoing alongside everything else, because it doesn't feel like something that's like a chore or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I think where my daughter is from a previous relationship, I really tried to be conscious of the time that we had together.
Okay.
Because now that I'm with my son, it's like she could feel the distance. Do you know what I mean? So I'm really conscious of that relationship and maintaining that.
Sure.
And it's been great. Like they have a great relationship between them. It's like, but it's just one of those ones where it's like that's always on my mind. Do you know what I mean? So that's always something that's in the back of my mind, just day to day.
Yeah.
But as far as managing both of them, I don't know. I just feel like they're both my passion. So I don't really.
They just intermingle.
That's it. Yeah. It works when it works.
Yeah. It sounds like you've got a nice balance. Like you've got your priorities straight.
Yeah.
And that's a not easy thing to do.
It's taken a journey. It's been a journey, man. It's not been something that was like off the rip. Do you know what I mean? Like it's tricky, because when you start to see, obviously, our dreams coming true.
Yeah.
Is it keeps the fire going.
Sure.
But it's like it just cannot be your key to happiness.
No.
And that's what I've really kind of, the last couple of years, especially with like my girlfriend, she's really supportive, really positive. I get down very quickly when stuff doesn't go to my way. Like I've committed to this mission and it's just failed. That hits me hard, because I'm like, I need to see things through to the end.
Yeah.
So if something gets cut short, I'm like, there was still more to do there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But like her perspective on things and just the understanding is so beneficial to have people around you like that.
Yeah.
And
you've got that support system.
That's it. And I think once you kind of have something else that takes your passion away, like takes you away from the passion, it's just healthy to have that balance. Do you know what I mean? The balance thing has been sold to me, and I've bought into it, man. Because,
really? So for you, because I always ask people towards, in the podcast, what balance means to you. I guess from the sounds of it, it's something that's very important to you to try and get right.
Yeah. It's family first. It's family first. Because my mum's a stand-up comic, so I kind of grew up with my mum doing these things. Like I've essentially followed in her footsteps.
Yeah.
Stand-up, acting, skit shows and all those type of things. So I've never felt like I had less of a mum. But what I knew, what I was aware of, is that people knew who my mum was.
Yeah.
We'd go out shopping centres, people would stop and want an autograph or something, and I'd be like, oh, who is that person?
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know. I couldn't work it out. And now I'm realising the effect that she had, but I never felt like I had less of a mum.
Yeah.
So then it's like, now, because I've experienced it from the child's perspective, I'm very aware of how it is for my kids.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, you can chase your dreams. That's why, like, when people speak about having kids as like I don't want to slow me down and da-da-da. Man, the flip side to that is that sometimes they will put a battery in your back, and like the motivation is different.
Yeah.
Because I can fight hard for myself.
That's how I've always been. I've always been like, I've always had that classic. I mean, it's probably like nonsensical, approach. Like, I just need to get everything in, get the career sorted, etc., and then I'll be ready. Then I'll be ready to commit or whatever.
Yep.
I mean, I've come out of a long-term relationship recently, so I'm sort of single again, and now it's sort of trying to sort of get back to decompress and get back to sort of that different type of lifestyle, but without wanting to trip up and make the same mistakes as last time round. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm not young anymore. I don't want to be going out like on the Raz and just sort of doing that again.
It's taxing, man. You don't realize like how different you get as you get older.
Yeah, right.
The energy is different.
It is.
Like, my energy now, I don't have motivation to do stuff that's not beneficial.
Okay.
Before, oh man, Saturday, let's just go out, man.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, what am I doing there?
Yeah.
Like, I'll go, like, and it's so, I try to make a conscious effort to have fun, because I'm just like, dude, you're just going to be a miserable dude.
Yeah.
But like, I don't want to like go out just to all I look at, like, if someone says to me, oh, let's go out, a night out, da-da-da. Straight away in my head, I'm like, what's that, £150?
Yeah.
Straight away, I'm like, £150? I don't really want to do that, to be honest.
Literally going down the drain.
Yeah, straight.
You're not much of a drinker.
Not really. I used to be.
Yeah, same.
I started driving.
It's like a 20s thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I used to drink before I went on stage. I needed my brandy and coke.
Did you?
Ritual.
Wow, okay.
Get my brandy and coke, I'm ready to go.
Right.
And I was like, I'm going to become an alcoholic.
Yeah.
So I just stopped. And you know what? This is how I know like addiction is a real thing. Because I didn't feel like I was addicted to anything. But the minute I took it away and I was drinking water to go on stage, oh my gosh, nervous.
Yeah.
I'm now feeling like a superpower without its powers. I was like, Jesus, raw. Can I still be funny? Go out there. It took about a month or two to kind of get used to not having the brandy ritual. And I was like, geez, man. I felt like if someone's waking up and drinking throughout the day, to tell them to put the drink down at that point, that's a big task.
Yeah. It's
Madness.
Too late almost, isn't it?
You see what I mean?
It's not too late.
It's not too late.
It's never too late, but
it's just an uphill.
That's like Everest.
Yeah. So that's something that's like, you see the benefit of mental discipline.
Mental discipline is everything.
Bro. It'll keep you sane.
Really is, isn't it? I mean, yeah, again, that's something that's taken me a long time to learn.
Yeah.
I was all over the place, man. Like, literally just doing this, that, everything, wanting to go out and partying, as you do. Whereas now it's all about discipline. I got into Buddhism like about 3 years ago or so.
Yeah.
So I meditate every day. I have like quite a strict morning routine. I've talked about this on the podcast before, but yeah, strict morning routine. I need these things in my life to set me up for the day, keep me going.
Yeah.
The one thing, and again, this is something I talked about, and we haven't really touched on that much, is how you navigate through the social media aspect, because it's something that's obviously integral to what we do, but at the same time can be such an enemy to creativity and being present.
Yep. It's...
Did you see you're quite prolific on social media?
See, this is the thing.
I mean, there seems to be a consistent output.
Yeah.
Of lots of varying degrees of content.
Yeah. Like for me, I try not to be a social media dude.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I try to be someone who puts a lens on what's happening in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I think most of my content nowadays is like podcast footage, because one of our podcasts I do is film, the boxing one, Undefeated podcast. So we'll have film clips that will go out. I know social media is beneficial. I just try not to make it too essential to my career.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like I need it to exist away from that.
Yeah.
I don't look down on any comic or anybody who uses social media and that's their ticket.
Yeah.
Because do what you got to do. But I know for me, if I started to go crazy with social media content, it's not authentic.
Sure.
I'm attempting to capitalize on the fact that it works for other people.
Yes.
So now I'm like, I find myself distancing myself from social media in the same way, because I just feel like I don't like the how can I say it, the effects of social media on your mental health.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I don't like to feel social media's made life a competition.
Totally.
Now everybody is comparing, competing, analyzing, and it's like, are we living anymore? Or are we doing this so that we can show people that we've done something?
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to move from that, because when I started to try and, like, I tried to do the social media stuff like a few years ago, and it just never felt like something I could enjoy.
Like you, yeah.
Yeah, like laughing emojis don't satisfy me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see them go, oh my, there's the dopamine, let me get some more of these.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen for me. So when I see it and I'm like, cool, that's sick, but come to the live show.
Yeah, that's where it happens.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know, I just don't have the same enjoyment for that creative output. So my stuff is like a lot of my Insta stories. I'll be posting random stuff that I'm doing or I'm up to. And yeah, it's just kind of, it's more of a thing that let people know I'm doing stuff, I'm working. But as far as catering to just social media, nah, I don't think that's something I'll be investing too much time in. Don't get me wrong, if I think of something funny and I put it out, that's what it is, yeah.
I recently started logging out for like a day or sort of 2 days at a time, and it feels great, because even if you're not on it, you still get the notifications, and that's distraction.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and do more of that. Although having said that, I released this short film that I made last year, yesterday, and
I haven't watched it. I've saved it to watch it.
Oh, thanks, man. It's literally like glued to the screen. It's like, another one.
Every day.
and I know that feeling, because, you know, I'd set up this YouTube channel a few years ago, and I used to make a load of sketches and that kind of thing. It's exactly the same thing. But I said to myself last night, because it got released at 7 p.m, and I was supposed to be meeting a friend, and I said to him, I don't know if I can do it because the short film's coming out. And I thought, you know what? No.
Yeah, go.
I said, let's do it. Then we'll meet, and I might just be checking my phone every now and then. And it just felt nice just to like lock out for a little bit, and then come back to it. Though having said that, came back when I was lying in bed, just looking through to see what it is. It's always a challenge to get that balance right. But it's great. Again, it sounds like through, you know, having the experience of trying stuff out and experimenting, you know what works for you and what's and what's authentic. I keep coming back to that word, but it sounds like you really know what's authentic to you.
Yeah, because for me, that's when I'm at my best. When I'm putting out authentic material, well, especially when I'm on stage.
Yeah.
My material, when it's authentic and I'm talking about things that mean something to me, that's when I'm at my best.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So now it's like, anytime I attempt to do something and I know the intention is people will love this, that's when it's not real. It doesn't land the same way. Sometimes I'll get the laughs, but I might not do the joke again, just because it's like, it's just not me. As the artist, I need to be truthful in where I am and what I'm talking about, and be personal with my audience. So I think when you know that's your thing, you just stick to it.
I like that.
Do you know what I mean? It's all about being true to the creative side.
I think that's a good note to wrap things up. You've got a gig coming up with your mum, right?
Yes.
If anyone's like listening, it's like, who's his mum? Who's his mum? I don't know if we said it. But Angela Marr.
Yeah. So she's coming back to stand up as an audience with Angela Marr.
Okay.
April 26th and 27th at the Stockwell Playhouse Theatre.
Right.
And man, go to the Stockwell Playhouse website. And it's actually interesting because that night, me and my whole family are supporting acts.
Are all your family comedians as well?
No. So my brother is a radio presenter.
Okay.
He's going to be hosting the night.
Yeah.
My sister is a singer.
Yeah.
And my dad is a singer.
Oh, amazing.
So the whole family is on the lineup.
Creative family. I love that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll have to talk after, but I've got to come to that gig.
Yeah, bro. Trust me. That's going to be a hell of a night. I don't think
that sounds amazing. Have you ever done anything like that with family?
Nah, like
that is
me
great.
and my mum have done stuff together, but the whole family on this occasion is going to be huge.
That's amazing.
It's going to be huge. I cannot wait, because it's mad, because our group chat is a family group chat.
Yeah.
And some of the jokes that come out of the group chat, I'm like, yo, we can go toe to toe with any group chat.
Yeah.
Like my sister, she's singing, but she's hilarious.
Okay.
My sister, like, if a roasting session is taking place, I will duck that. I'm not interested in going toe to toe with her, because she has this way of like, she'll tear me to pieces, and I'm like, bloody hell, how comes I can't beat you? Like, that's what this is there for. This is there
to put you in your place.
Facts.
My sister's exactly the same.
Facts. Yeah. So it's going to be a great night, man. It's going to be beautiful.
Great.
Yeah.
So where can people find out about the night, and also just like, keep in touch with what you're up to?
Yes, I mean, follow me on social media, Travis JENT, and you can go to the website. I think Stockwell.ph, but Google Stockwell Playhouse Theatre.
Okay.
And it'll be the website, and you can get tickets there. So yeah, man, it's exciting times. Going up to Edinburgh this year, taking a show up. It's going to be fantastic, man. It's a good year.
There's going to be information on that on social media.
That'll be on my social media.
Yeah, okay, great. All right, man. Thanks so much for coming.
No worries, man. Thanks for having me.
We got there in the end after the parking.
We did.
Situation. If you're listening, Hackney Council, sort out your parking.
Bruv. Every bay is a resident bay.
Yeah, there you go.
Man.
All right, man. Thanks so much.
No worries, bro.
Perfect.
Told you it was a good one. Also, just to let you know, when I'm saying it's a good conversation, I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet. It's purely on how I perceive the guest to come across and the pearls of wisdom they have to offer. All I'm doing is prodding here and there. I mean, know what I'm doing. I don't need to explain what I'm doing. The point is, I can only be as good as the guest that I'm conversing with. I mean, this is obvious stuff. I don't even know why I feel compelled to say that, but I do. You should all know that I am dog sitting this week for Larry, the family dog. He is, yes, in case you're wondering, he is named after Larry David. I named him Larry. And he's got very similar personalities. He's highly neurotic, but he's a lot of fun as well. So, as always, if you like this podcast, please share it, leave a comment. That's really helpful. And if you haven't done already, it'd be fantastic if you subscribed. Yeah, please make all my podcast dreams come true. Thank you very much, and laters.